Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. It's Wednesday, a special Wednesday, a unique Wednesday. It's not only Juve Parma this evening, but it's the only time in Serie A this season that we have a midweek game. Midweek match day. While we will do the watch along here, and I hope to see all of you, we'll need also to concentrate on the ranking that minute by minute can change because simultaneously Atalanta, Lazio, Torino, Fiorentina, they will all play against other opponents, so that ranking can really be crazy. Can be an extremely fun night together, can be a thriller night, can be a disaster night, and I hope to see all of you for the watch along later today here on the channel. Ragazzi, today we have a lot of surprises to speak about. Some surprises that were already revealed, some surprises that I'm sure that you will like, and you will be curious to discover, some surprise that you will not be happy. And that's why I'm anticipating the request. Can you put a maximum of like in today's video? Now. Do it now. Can you also subscribe if you didn't yet? You did it? Sure? Because now we start with the predicted lineup. I will not reveal you all of them, or will not speak about all of them, but there is Danilo as a starter today against Parma. And I agree with Thiago Motta. And I know you will be pissed off. That's why I ask you to put a maximum of like. Beppe, you will tell me. Yesterday you told us that it was good for Danilo to stay on the bench for a few games, for his confidence to win it back. And now you are telling us that you agree with Thiago Motta. Something is not matching. What are you speaking about? Hey, Beppe, guys, I thought about it. I made my calculations. And I think this is the perfect game to play Danilo. And I will tell you why in a second. First, let's start with the first page of Tutto Sport, that is going towards the surprise, has been confirmed by Juve in the squad list. Robocop, from a nickname to reality. He has been called up. We will see him again in the Allianz Stadium. Robocop, because he will play with that special armor, specially designed for him, specially done with a laser technique that we already used last year for Locatelli. The pain is gone, but it's not 100% fit, of course. So he will be on the bench this evening, and it's good. I think that we will see him on the field if Juventus is doing well. If Juventus is leading maybe a 2-0 in the last 15 minutes. And if he enters, and if we are in comfortable position, I even think, but that's a feeling, that's not a certainty, that we can possibly see the first goal of Coop Miners in Bianconero this evening. Feeling. One thing is sure, I can tell you that not playing on the bench, the guy is super happy. I saw him last week. I met him last week in that meet and greet by Juve. And it was really, you saw in the eyes that it was close. I knew it would not have been for Inter, but it was really close, and I'm super happy. And he will be the first one happy because he will hear again from the bench that beautiful song, Juve Storia di un grande amore. So welcome back, turn Coop Miners, and that's the first real news. Then if you are looking at the squad list, there is another name that is extremely surprised. Nobody was expecting it. It is the one of Gil Puche. And you will tell me, Beppe, who's that guy? We never heard speaking about him. Who is Gil Puche? Well, he's a center defender that is playing with the next gen. And for people that said, Beppe, but we were looking next gen in the beginning of the season, never heard about him. Well, guys, it is because he's a 2006 born player, Spanish one. Actually, his full name is Javier Gil Puche. He's playing actually with the Primavera when he came from Alaves this season, because it's a new player. Played with the Primavera of Magnanelli. Played 2 games with the Primavera in the Primavera tournament, and then played 2 games in the Youth League. And actually now he's playing actually with the next gen, with the team of Paolo Montero, 192. So he's really huge already for being that young, 2006. Has a contract until 2026, so not a long-term contract, but it's one that is impressive. And you know what is really, really special? Is a left foot center back. Left foot center back. That's an important one. We know it, and we spoke about it the entire summer. Thiago Motta is looking for a left foot center back. Already played this season between Next Gen and Primavera 7 games, 1 assist for him with the youth, 533 minutes. Will we see him on the bench today? Yes, because he has been called up. Will we see him on the field? Depending also for, like Cope, depending how the game is going, it could be. It could be. If we are losing, no, forget about it. If we are doing well, it could be. I think it's more a reward, but I think it's also a confirmation of the fact that Kalulu will not play today. If, in case of real need, Kalulu can enter. Yeah, an injury, hopefully not. Something is not working in defense with one of them, Kalulu will enter. Things are going well. Gatti could possibly rest. Because we need them for the next game, Udinese. Lille, Torino, Derby della Mole. Don't forget about that. But also, I think a reward because Thiago Motta spotted him. He could have taken a midfielder, because there we need some players. He could have taken a second striker, a vice Vlahovic, Angele, or whoever. He took that guy. That's a big sign, guys. That's really a big sign. Now pay attention because we go towards why we need to win. We need to win because we are called Juventus. And because we always need to win, we are playing in our game. I told you about that continuity after the 15 last minutes against Inter, 20 last minutes. We need to give continuity. Otherwise, we can throw away that beautiful remontada. But there is also something else. Hey, Napoli won yesterday. 2-0 against Milan. You know, when the stars are aligning. Look, I'm watching Napoli playing. And I tell you that I'm worried. Because they are far from perfect. Yesterday they were not entertaining. Yesterday they were not even attacking. Yesterday they were there, solid, waiting to win their game. Milan play, and they are a bit lucky as well. Lucky is good in football. You need a bit of luck in football. Playing against a team in the right moment. Yesterday without Theo Hernandez, without Renders, without Gabbia, without Pulisic because he had the fever. The coach is thinking at a certain moment, I will put Leao out of the team. With all my absence, I will even put him out of disaster. Well, they tried everything at Milan. They couldn't because they are super solid in the back. Not perfect, but that's the problem. At a certain moment, they will reach perfection. Playing once a week with all these new players. Pay attention to Napoli. Pay attention to Napoli because at the end, they deserve to win. Now there is another duel. Not the triangle Napoli, Inter, Juve, but Gazzetta dello Sport against Corriere dello Sport. We go really fast because I really wanted to let you know, because it's a funny thing that I'm not sure that everyone will have noticed. Corriere dello Sport is opening with Rome, with a big page for Romelu Lukaku. It looks like a special edition. We speak about the entire life, a documentary about Rome. Well, no, it was just to speak about the game of yesterday. Of course, he's opening the score yesterday. Huge. Only him. Today there are no other games. Inter is not playing, Juve is not playing. Only Romelu Lukaku on Corriere dello Sport. While you're watching Gazzetta dello Sport, in big it's not Romelu Lukaku. It is actually Kvaratskhelia with Antonio Conte there with a smile. Milan, did you see Conte? Why Milan did you see Conte? Because in the summer they could have taken Antonio Conte, then Ibrahimovic and Conte or whatever. At the end it didn't happen. He went to Napoli. But they don't put Lukaku. And I tell you why. Do you remember 2 seasons ago, Corriere dello Sport was the biggest sponsor of Romelu to the Bianconeri, of the team of Max Allegri back then. They wanted to let Vlahovic go. They were sure about it. They were telling us every single day, Chelsea, Arsenal, whatever. They wanted to go for Vlahovic, and Juve, they would have taken Lukaku. He was closer and closer and closer and closer to Juve. While Gazzetta dello Sport, Romelu Lukaku, big hero of them. Remember, he was always on the front page of Gazzetta dello Sport when he was an Inter player. From the moment that he left Inter, in the way that he left Inter, he became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, without shirt. He was every single day without shirt there. And then he became one that was only thinking about the ego, only thinking about the money. The agents were thinking about the money, and now he totally disappeared. They don't want to speak anymore about Lukaku. It's strange, and the narrative, the duel, how they explain you a game. Just, because they are protecting their own protégé, their own players. Really, really, really strange. It was funny this morning. Anyway, they won 2-0. I don't want to speak too much about it. But another thing that I noticed from Gazzetta dello Sport, they are anti-Juve. We know it. They don't speak that much about Juve. When they can speak bad, they speak bad. But if there is one that is really protecting one of our players, it's Fabiano Della Valle. It's Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking always really well about Dusan Vlahovic. Well, again, Vlahovic. Juve è sempre più sua. Juve, it's more and more his Juve. It's not the Juve of Thiago Motta, of Cristiano Giuntoli, of John Elkann, of the Tifosi, the Juve of, Kalulu. No, it's the Juve of Dusan Vlahovic. Today, he will reach 1,000 minutes in the season. Between you and me, there is another player that is playing 1,000 minutes in the season today. If he plays, and he will play, Gazzetta dello Sport, they don't care about that. It's the narrative. Anyway, yesterday we saw that Napoli won 2-0, and it's annoying. It's annoying because they are at 25, Inter 18, Juve 17. The ranking is telling us that if we win, we are at 5 points from Napoli, and we need to stick there. We need to win in our home. If we don't, guys, it's a disaster. Huh? The season is long, and nothing will be played. Nothing is decisive. But I told you, Fiorentina, Atalanta, Lazio, Torino, Udinese, they will all play and not against each other. If today we play bad, we can finish 9th. We can finish 8th or 9th. we really need to pay attention. We really need to pay attention. On the other side, the only good thing that I see is Milan losing against Napoli. It's one of them that is losing points, which is not bad. Now, the lineups. Juve Napoli, Di Gregorio into the goal, Juve Parma. Di Gregorio into the goal, Cambiaso, Gatti, Danilo, Cabal, Locatelli, Thuram, Conceição, McKennie, Weah, and Dusan Vlahovic. When I'm looking at that one, of course, the first thing that I'm watching at is Danilo starter, again, after the bad performance that he did against Inter, the one against Stuttgart. Where is Yildiz? After the fantastic 20 minutes that he played, 30 minutes that he played against Inter, where is Yildiz? And then I start to think, guys, the calendar is really tough. Parma, Udinese, Lille, Torino, one after the other before the international break. We had a lot of players injured, which means that the players that were at disposal, they played a lot. And then I'm starting to think, okay, we need to rest. The first one is Kalulu. At a certain moment, you need to rest Kalulu. You need to rest Kalulu because he arrived after Como, after Verona, but it's the player that played 10 games already, 807 minutes. So the fourth player per minute, but a player that was not there in the first 2 games of the season. And since then, he played all the games at disposal, Champions League and Serie A. Vlahovic is the first one, 993. Cambiaso is the second one that today can reach 1,000 minutes because he already played 946 minutes. And Yildiz is third with 851 because he played all the games. Then you have Di Gregorio, Locatelli, Gatti, Bremer, Fagioli, Savona, and Cope Manners. These are the 11 players that plays the most. If you're looking at the top 11 with the most minutes played, it becomes a 3-4-2-1. Where you really see that today Gatti, Locatelli, Cambiaso, and Vlahovic can play for what reason? Because there are not a lot of options. Vlahovic, there is no vice Vlahovic at the moment. Gatti is a player, if last time Gatti rested the last 2 games, today he plays. Bremer will not play anymore. Kalulu didn't rest. And Kalulu last season at Milan, do you remember, he comes from an entire year of injury. Do you remember that we said, we like him, or people said we don't like him? But one thing we all agreed, we need to see the physical condition. So don't risk Kalulu. If there is an opportunity to rest him, it's today, because then you have big games that we cannot lose. So Kalulu is fundamental, so it makes sense to play with Danilo, because we have no other choice, guys. And the fact that we have a Gil Puche is an important one, because he could possibly enter to let Danilo rest or change him, or a Gatti if the game is going well. That's why I'm expecting a Juve that is doing extremely well today against Parma. I want them to play really well. Then a Yildiz, yeah, why not? But pay attention, because Parma is really playing on the right side and on the left side, again, with these wingers that are going really up. And I think that he was extremely satisfied of the work of Weah, Conceição, Cabal, Cambiaso there. Again, to do that similar game of what we saw against Inter on the wings. That's about the lineups. Dusan, at the moment, he doesn't need rest. And to tell you even more, Serbia called him up for the national team. He's back in the national team when they will be after Torino. I'm happy about that, because that means when Dusan is not feeling well, he's saying to the Serbian coach, don't feel well, I prefer to stay in La Continasa. When he's feeling well, like now, he's saying, yes, I go. Call me up because I'm there. So I'm happy for Dusan Vlahovic mentally, but also because physically it means that he's doing fantastically well. Boni, Luca, David, in that order. We are playing against Boni this evening against Parma. We are playing against Lorenzo Luca this weekend. And then we are playing against Jonathan David in Champions League. 3 players that are monitored by Cristiano Giuntoli. I don't want to speak too much about the Mercato today, but pay attention to these guys, because one of them could possibly reinforce Juve now or in the future. And then there is the name of Colomwani. Ragazzi, Colomwani, I try to inform myself. It's a beautiful name. It's a player that I like. He's a player, forget about it, guys. He has a huge value. He's 25. He's in his maturity. I know that Calcio Mercato yesterday, they said Colomwani, and people here on the channel said, Beppe, can you speak about Colomwani? Guys, if it starts to be something concrete, I will speak about it, but I don't believe at today that Al-Khelaifi will say, you know what, because you entered again Eka here, the Christmas gifts, Skriniar and Colomwani, we give them on loan for you. You don't even have to pay. Grazie, arrivederci. No, when we need to speak about something serious, we will do it, but now Colomwani is not something really serious. There is one thing that I'm expecting from the guys today. No silly mistake. No red card. No penalty. Attenzione. If you agree with me, let me know in the chat. Grazie, forza. Juve.